complaining about how the previous government signed power deals that we didn't need, that they have committed us to power production deals that honestly are not required, excess or surplus to requirement. So in a situation where we have these problems that we're being told of by our sources in Gridco, oughtn't we be relying comfortably?
Should we not be relying?
I like oughtn't we.
Say it right.
Indeed. Should we not be able to rely on some of these excess power supply deals to ensure that we are powering every home? Should that not be the case? So what has happened? What has changed? Have we killed some of those deals? Is it that at the moment we do not have excess capacity anymore? There is a need for a certain explanation so that we understand clearly how we ended up at this pass.
What worries me the most is the situation that we were given as of the 17th March. That's this morning, that all issues have been resolved, plants producing at full capacity of 2,700 megawatts. So my first question is, which plants? Which plants have we selected out of our installed capacity of 4,200 megawatts to produce? What happens to the other plants that we have that amount to about 1,500 megawatts? Are there people working there? What do they do when they get to work? Are they producing power for the nation to use? We know that, for instance, when it comes to the Bui power, which is a dam basically, it's a peak plant. So it's only when we all need power. Like I said, a 7 p.m. situation, and Ghana is in one time zone. So it's never really the case where it's 7 p.m. somewhere and it's only in the morning somewhere, and elsewhere they are not using lights. So it's only when we all need lights that they will bring in Bui. So how is it then that now we are being told that all the plants are producing at full capacity, and that amounts to 2,700 megawatts? Where lies the other? Because we were told that we do have technology available to even export some of the power, even though there were questions raised that because of the cost at which we produce the power, it may not be feasible for Cote d'Ivoire, for instance, to buy power from us. So all of these questions are there. Now, here's an answer that an engineer is sending me as we are raising these questions. He says, Daniel, power is different from energy. You might have excess generation capacities, but you may have a fuel deficit.
But that's not what we're being told. You see, if that's what we had been told, then it would make perfect sense. We would understand why we're in this situation, that we have the installed capacity, but for some reason we don't have the fuel. Then we can ask, why don't we have the fuel? Why don't we have it? Where is the fuel? Is it a money problem? Is somebody not supplying us? Do we owe someone? You see, then we can ask the right questions. But we're not being told that it's a fuel problem. We're being told that it's a capacity problem.
So it could be capacity caused by fuel, maybe. For instance, if you want us to nitpick, that is. For instance, we do know that on one of these days, and I just want to get the exact day for you, the 16th of March, yes.
Right.
The problem was, it was a reverse flow problem. So that we weren't getting gas, which is a fuel, which is why some of the plants were not working. So for those plants that we weren't getting gas for in Tema, for instance, what was happening with the other plants which were running? How much did that amount to?
And you see, it brings back a question that we've been asking now for maybe 5 years, since the last Dumso, crisis. We were asking about our energy mix. How well have we planned the energy mix of this nation? How well have we built in contingencies? How well have we thought of the fact that, well, if we have a fault with our gas-powered energy, we have to be able to rely on, for example, our hydroelectric or whatever. How well have we planned the mix of our energy to include solar and renewables and everything, so that if we trip in one area, we can properly supplement with another? Because it's all part of future planning. How much of that have we done?
Now, Kojo, the organization that sits in the center of power distribution in Ghana is Gridco. They receive the power from the various generators and then they transmit it to the distributor, which is ECG, which is why it's very important with all these questions we're having about different plants and different capacities and all of that. We get Ebenezer Amankwa, who is Corporate Communications Manager at Gridco, and he is in a position to answer our questions. He's joined us on the line. Mr. Amankwa, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel, and good morning to you.
So, on the 16th of March, which was yesterday, ECG put out a statement saying that they wish to inform the general public, especially our cherished customers, that the outage being experienced in parts of Accra and other ECG operational areas is due to a technical challenge from Gridco. Can you tell us what technical challenge this was?
Well, Daniel, I think first of all, it will be appropriate to put the issues in context and to address some of the issues. I think that essentially it was unfortunate that ECG will put out a statement like that. As far as I'm concerned, blame games are not the hallmark of effective coordination and leadership. And I think that as key players in the power and value chain, it is appropriate that we are always in contact, that we are always concertedly connected in terms of information flow, because the public, yourself and all your listeners, are looking up to us for credibility and for direction as far as the essential commodity which we deliver, power, is concerned. And it's appropriate that we deliver it and deliver it expediently as we can. And so first of all, this is what happened. Yesterday, there was a scheduled performance test on a new regulating and metering gas station in Tema by the West African Gas Pipeline. So this led to a cessation of gas supply to some power plants in Tema. That was one. There's additional issue was that as part of the test, the Sununasogli plant, which we have, was to shut down at 9 a.m. yesterday, with a plan to restart at 10 a.m. yesterday. However, this process also encountered some operational difficulties. And then additionally, the car power ship at the Aboise enclave also had some difficulties due to gas flow challenges. And then the plant became unavailable. So these two incidents led to prolonged outages in parts of the country yesterday. Now, as we speak, and I'm sure you are aware, the maintenance team worked assiduously around the clock to fix the issue. And as I speak, power has been restored to almost all the affected areas currently. So that essentially was what happened yesterday. And you see that the power sector is a value chain from generation through transmission to Gridco and then to distribution via ECG, Netco, and all the other players. So we work together as a team. And when issues happen, we work together as a team to ensure that it is fixed for the public to continue to enjoy the essential commodity which we provide, which is power. And that for Gridco continues to be a hallmark that we want to deliver as much as possible to Ghana, because our promise is we are the backbone to power delivery in Ghana. And that for me is something we will not renege against at all going forward. So, Daniel, this is really just a summary of what happened yesterday.
I'll begin from where you ended, Mr. Amankwa. How much power are you transmitting as of this morning?
Well, I will have to get the exact figure to you now, but obviously you know that averagely it's over 2,000 megawatts of power, which we deliver at peak time. As to the exact figure, I can make that available to you. But as we speak, all the areas that were affected yesterday have been restored.
I'm asking because as we speak, I'm still getting messages on my WhatsApp console that there are areas without lights, and that simply continues. In fact, there were those who told us that the lights came on briefly at 4 a.m. this morning and went back off. I remember very well, Wisdom called to complain that he didn't go to work because he couldn't iron his clothes. Yeah.
Then I think we would have to assure almost everybody that work has been done. In fact, through to last night till this morning, our maintenance team were committed to try and make sure that every area is up with power. And that is something that's going to happen. So I can assure you that all these areas, those that are not even having light currently, would have it in the shortest possible time. If I can be direct, even before 11 a.m. today, almost every area that has been affected would come back up.
So by 11 a.m. today, every area that does not have power now will have power.
Yes. I mean, the maintenance team, as we speak, is on it. Because you see, Daniel, I mean, don't get us wrong. No company, no stakeholder in the value chain discounts the power of the commodity we will provide. And so when there are challenges, which of course are bound to happen because we're working with systems, we're working with stations, operations here and there, we do not rest until the issues are resolved so that Ghanaians can benefit. And that, for us, continues to be the overriding attribute of how we deliver our work in the country.
Appreciate that, Mr. Mankwa. Let's try and understand what happened over the weekend a bit more. You said that there was an operations test that developed challenges, and then we had gas flow challenges a bit later. Did these two happen at the same time, or they happened, separately? And when did the first happen? When did the second happen?
Well, the first issue happened at 6 a.m. yesterday. Because of the performance test on the new regulating and metering station in Tema by the West African Gas Pipeline, we had some gas supply challenges. And in fact, the idea was that Asogli was shut down at 9 a.m. with a plan to restart at 10 a.m. That didn't work out because we had some operational challenges. And then additionally, Kapawa-ship, also to come on stream, had gas flow challenges. I mean, these are purely technical challenges, Daniel. We don't want to go into details, but these are the reports from the maintenance team to us here as we speak. So those are the two issues that happened.
That's fine. I mean, the detail that you've given already are so revealing. You said that the test challenges happened at 6 a.m. yesterday, but people didn't have power all throughout the weekend. So what caused that challenge?
Well, Daniel, I think we are looking at two separate issues here, because over the weekend, if you're right, over the weekend we had an issue. We had an issue of a system disturbance on our 330 kV line, which led to some intermittent power outages, I think particularly at 8:53 p.m. on Saturday, March 14th. This affected outages. This gave power outages to areas in the Volta, Greater Accra, Eastern, Northern, and Ashanti regions. The maintenance team was able to restore power to all the affected areas at 12:20 a.m. on Sunday, March 15, 2020. So that is a separate issue. And then on Monday morning, this scheduled performance test on the new metering gas station in Tema by WAPCO then encountered this gas supply problems, which then led to other outages, as we have spoken about today. So those two are not necessarily simultaneous. The one happened, it was solved, and then another happened on Monday morning, which we have successfully sorted out as we speak. What's
system disturbance?
Well, system disturbance, I mean, Daniel, system disturbance on a 330 kV line. It could be anything, but it's because it's a technical issue. The issue is not for me to go into the exact details.
That's fine.
Because sometimes we have over generation, which can lead to some swings, some power swings on the line. I mean, these things happen because of the nature of our work. And the good thing is that we have a maintenance team that is always there, prepared and ready to resolve such situations so that power can be restored. Because at the end of it all, the consumer or the general public is not looking at this. They just want their power to come. And for us, that should be our commitment to keep.
That's fine. How much power did we lose at 8:53 p.m. When this system disturbance knocked out some of the lines? How many megawatts were removed?
How many megawatts were removed?
Yes.
Can you come again there?
How many megawatts were we not able to transmit when we had this system disturbance?
For the issue, because there are two issues we're looking at. So which one?
You mentioned the metering test, which had a challenge, and then you mentioned the system disturbance. I am asking about the system disturbance that happened on Saturday. How much power was removed from the mix when we had the system disturbance?
I think if I'm clear, between 500 to 600 megawatts.
Between 500 and 600 megawatts.
Yes.
So Mr. Amankwa, from the figures that I have before me, being our generation, our installed capacity, our peak demand, 500 to 600 megawatts should not cause the level of power outages that we had over the weekend. Or am I wrong?
Well, it depends on the areas, because you see, depending on the megawatts that we're losing, it could, the ones that happened on Saturday through to Sunday affected the parts that I've mentioned to you, Volta, Greater Accra. Some parts in Volta, Greater Accra, Eastern Region, Northern and Ashanti. It's not to say that all these regions went off, but areas, particularly in the regions, went off depending on the area that is affected by the power swing. So that is something that we have to clarify. Not all these regions went off as in every area. Particular parts of the areas went off, but it was able to come back on just on the midnight of Sunday, March 15th.
Okay. Mr. Amankwa, I'm asking this question because, I mean, if we do the simple mathematics, okay, and we can generate 4,200 megawatts of power as a nation, we lose between 500 and 600 megawatts of power because of the system disturbance. Why should we have a power cut when all we need is 2,700 megawatts of power? So why should it result in power cuts? That is heartbreaking. Ebenezer Mankwa speaks for Gridco. He is corporate communications manager at Gridco. That's heartbreaking, Kojo. We lost him. Papa, please try calling him back. It's very sad.
Well,
did you get some explanation?
The maths didn't add up for me either. I think the question you asked him there was very important. I wanted to understand why, if we lose 500 megawatts, it should result in power cuts when we have an installed capacity of over 4,000. All we need at peak is 2,800?
2,700 actually
at peak. So if we lose 500, how does that result in power cuts? I wanted him to walk us through the answer to that, but that is the point at which the line
tripped.
Yeah,
there was a system disturbance.
I guess there was a system disturbance. Yeah. I would certainly love to hear him explain that to us.
Now, I still had some questions from listeners. You can send them in because we are still trying to re-establish contacts with Gridco. But I think the main thing that is that Mr. Mankwa came to tell us that by 11 a.m. you should have power. By 11 a.m. there is no reason why you shouldn't have power. So it's only 8:52 now. Let's give it another 2 hours. In fact, 2 hours, 8 minutes exactly. And then all our like a certain politician said.
If we do get the opportunity to reconnect with him, another thing I would love for us to ask him is Gridco's plans for this crisis period. And I say crisis period even though we only have 6 cases, let's be real. We only have 6 confirmed cases of COVID-19, but we've seen what's happened in other countries. So we are all planning for more cases. I certainly hope our authorities are planning for more cases. So if we find ourselves in a situation where there's a need for mass self-quarantine, what's Gridco's plan for that? Looking into the future, what have they done to shore up their structures so that, first of all, we don't have this problem that we just had, we don't have it again? What have they put in place to make sure there's never a repeat of what happened over the weekend? And what are they planning for the future to ensure that we can have power going forward? Last thing anybody wants after hoarding food in their fridges and freezers is to lose power and lose the food. So I'd love to hear their answer to that question as well.
And also, Kojo, we were discussing this earlier about their communications with ECG. Mr. Mankwa started by saying that it was unfortunate ECG released that statement they did in the first place. He felt that ECG was engaging in a blame game and they shouldn't have done that. My question is, did they inform ECG about this challenge they got? How quickly did they inform ECG? Because according to Mr. Mankwa, as of Saturday evening, 8:52 p.m., they had this problem. Thankfully, Mr. Mankwa has rejoined us on the line. Mr. Mankwa, sorry, we had a system disturbance there in the phone line.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah.
Great.
Sorry, I went off. I'm back to answer.
Great. So the question I was on is that we have 4,200 megawatts installed capacity. We have 2,700 megawatts peak demand. We lost between 500 and 600 megawatts because of the system disturbance. Why is it that the power went off when what we could produce, is still way higher than what we need? Hello, Mr. Amankwa. Hello, Mr. Amankwa. Hello, are you there? Do I have Ebenezer Amankwa on the line? Wow. It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour, 9 a.m. Let me say it this way. It is 2 hours. In 2 hours, 5 minutes exactly, you should have stable power supply. That's according to Ebenezer Amankwa of Gridco. We are experiencing some challenges with the phone line. I'm so embarrassed to tell you. But Mr. Ebenezer Amankwa, we're finding it very difficult to maintain that conversation with him. Okay, so we still have a few questions for Mr. Amankwa here. Good morning, Daniel. The whole of Teshinunga is not having lights from Wisdom and Teshi. Yes, I think it's Wisdom who called and said that he was not able to go to work. The phone trip is system disturbance. I think we've established that. Thanks very much for texting. Okay, Ben from DC says, Daniel, how come UG Legon was closed and the IT department does not have any online teaching methods for its students? At least the final year students. We'll come to Corona in just a second, but let's try and wrap up this conversation with Mr. Amankwa. Mr. Amankwa, are you there?
Yes, Daniel, I'm here.
Great. Can we continue with that question? We have excess capacity. We lost only 600 megawatts. Why did the lights go off?
Well, Daniel, I think what I was trying to say before the line went over was that, you see, sometimes there are issues in terms of unavailability of some generation plants that we have, and then also gas flow challenges. With this particular situation, there were two issues: gas flow challenges and some unavailability of plants. For example, CAPA was not available. WAPCO was undertaking a test on the metering and regulation news station here in Tema, and so there was cessation in terms of gas flow to the area. So some plants were unavailable. That's why the lights went off. So I think essentially we have to understand some of the challenges we go through to try and make sure that we get things back online for customers. These things happen. I think that when they happen, the essential point for us as a company, as a transmission company, is central to Ghana's power supply to our distribution companies, is the transparency and the reliability of information so that we can get things back up for customers and for yourself to enjoy. And that's something that we are continuing to do. I'm happy that this morning we have been able to restore almost power to all the affected areas. And we are continuing to do that so that we are assured that not an area is left out. Now we are having some plans coming up. For example, Sunona is up as we speak. And so we're happy because we can get some capacity from there to add the grid. We are getting some improvement in the gas flow situation as we speak. And that for me is positive in terms of our continuous transmission of power to our distributors like ECG, NETCO, and all the other players to continue to ensure that Ghanaians get what they are worth in terms of power.
Now, Mr. Amakwa, it looks like for the question that I asked, there are still some thorny areas in there. I was under the impression when you spoke earlier that the total effect of all the challenges we had on Saturday at least was 600 megawatts, because what you said is that the challenge we had then was a system disturbance. This test you named was yesterday, and we've lost Ebenezer Amankwah again. Look, we may have to wrap up the conversation at this point. Very, very sorry on that. It's 9 a.m. It's the Super Morning Show. We have the Joy Business Minute. Okay, Kojo, I know you want to comment on this one, but let's take the Joy Business Minute and the last batch of messages. When we come back, we wrap up on the Great Co, and then we move to Corona. How's that?
Yeah, it works for me.
All right, we'll be back. Stay with us.
Good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Minute. My name is Darryl. As tissue paper products are in high demand, the public is being urged not to indulge in panic buying amid the coronavirus outbreak. Local manufacturers say they have enough to supply. Traders in the central business district of Accra are leaving nothing to chance protecting themselves against the coronavirus. This as government has issued specific directives on public activities, including the need for traders to practice high level of hygiene at our market centers. The Institute of Internal Auditors Ghana has called on the Bank of Ghana and telecom operators to consider reducing charges on mobile money transactions by at least 50% to help minimize the spread of the coronavirus. The use of physical cash, health authorities say, can contribute to its spread. And global stock markets are seeing record levels of volatility, with the 5 biggest one-day points falls happening in less than a month. On Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average saw its biggest one-day slide in more than 3 decades. That's your update.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glyco Life, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation. Over the past 45 years, we've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we are poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Multi TV, in collaboration with Syndicated Capital, brings you their 25th anniversary promo. Get yourself a quality advanced S2 Digibox, quality dish, and a quality LMB for only 150 Ghana cedis. Don't be deceived by these fake decoders. Insist on the quality Digibox. The quality advanced S2 Digibox gives you over 160 TV and radio channels with sports, news, cartoons for the kids, and the new Joy Learning channel on Multi TV, designed for the senior high school students. The quality advanced S2 Digibox has an over voltage protector, auto scan, and a USB slot for you to record your movies, and comes with 1-year warranty. What are you waiting for? Rush for yours now. For enquiry and purchase, call 0302 242532 or 0501 529937. Quality Advanced S2 decoder is the only approved multi-TV decoder. Quality, we deliver on our promise.
This week on Joy Learning, Form 1 Belt, Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., 1 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. Monday, Social Studies, Science and Technology. Tuesday, Geography, Weather and Climate. Wednesday, Economics, Population. Thursday, Cost Accounting, Labor Turnover. Friday, Physics, Motion in a Straight Line. The Form 2 Belt, Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Monday, Cost Accounting, Contract Costing. Tuesday, Integrated Science, Exclusion. Wednesday, Christian Religious Studies, Faith in God. Thursday, Social Studies, Socialization and Social Environment. Friday, Comma, Simultaneous Linear Equation. The Form 3 Belt, Monday to Friday at 10 a.m., 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Monday, Financial Accounting, Partnership Accounts Illustration. Tuesday, Economics, Economic Growth and Development. Wednesday, Elective Mathematics, Mechanics. Thursday, Biology, Beyond Mendelian Genetics. Friday, Business Management, Globalization and Economic Integration. Catch up with Joy Learning for a recap on all lessons on Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. For more inquiries, please call 0302 211 688 or 0264 790 970 or log in to www.woloafrique.com to join subject forums. Learning is simple and easy on Ghana's first educational channel, Joy Learning. Joy Learning, keep learning.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best on Joy 99.7 FM.
As we grow.